By day I am the tyrant's gilded pet, his golden Aurelia. He proves it now, forcing me to my knees on the cold marble floor beneath the great oaken desk in his royal study. The bittersweet tang of his philter of ardor, the magical lozenge he forced between my lips, is already spreading through my veins, a treacherous heat coiling low in my belly. It's a betrayal my body commits against my will, a fire licking at my senses, turning my bones to liquid. Aurelia, King Theron's voice booms from above, smooth and cruel like polished obsidian. I suppress a shiver, not from the cold of the stone, but from the chilling ownership in his tone. Lord General Percival will be here shortly. Do perform well. His words are a physical blow, a calculated cruelty designed to shatter what little of me remains. Show him precisely what he lost when he failed to claim you in time. He continues, his voice a low, satisfied purr. Show him who you belong to now, Percival, my former fiancé, a name that feels like a shard of glass in my heart. A bitter ache blossoms in my chest, a stark, painful reality against the drug-induced haze clouding my mind. My king, I manage to whisper, my voice already husky with a desire that is not my own. I feel unwell. It is a desperate gambit, a last, futile plea for a mercy I know he will not grant. The king merely chuckles, a sound devoid of warmth. Nonsense, my love, you are glowing. The heat is overwhelming now, a relentless tide pulling me under. I bite my lip hard, the sharp pain of fleeting anchor in a sea of sensation. I must not make a sound, not a whimper, not for him. My hands, of their own accord, find the hard line of his leg, my fingers tracing the fine, expensive wool of his trousers. I am losing myself, my mind a swirling vortex of shame and unwilling arousal. A heavy, booted foot lifts, and I feel the press of it against my cheek, turning my head with an insolent pressure. Then, the unthinkable. Through the fine silk of my gown, I feel the toe of his boot tracing lazy, insulting circles over the most secret, sensitive part of me. A mockery of a caress, a strangled gasp escapes my lips, sharp and uncontrollable. It is then that I hear them, the heavy, measured footsteps of the guards outside the study door, and among them, a stride I would recognize in my sleep. Percival, my mind screams, a frantic, silent plea to the heavens. No, no, not him, anyone but him, but my body is a traitor, arching instinctively into the king's cruel, calculated touch. I cannot let Percival see me like this. I cannot bear the look in his eyes, the contempt that must surely be there, but the king is a master of this twisted game. He presses down, a subtle, rhythmic pressure that bypasses all my defenses, targeting the core of the drug's inferno. Ah, the cry is torn from me, a sound of pure, unwilling pleasure, muffled by his leg but unmistakable in the sudden silence of the room. It hangs in the air like a poisoned dart. I feel my soul shatter into 1,000 pieces. A sharp rap on the door. Your Majesty, the Lord General is here. Enter. The king commands, his voice laced with triumph. The great doors swing open, and there he stands, Lord General Percival, his face a mask of cold, impenetrable stone. His eyes, once so full of warmth for me, are now icy voids. They sweep over the scene, over the king on his throne, and me at his feet, and I see not a flicker of emotion. That nothingness is worse than hatred. Your Majesty, he says, his voice a flat, empty thing. You summoned me, indeed, General, the king says, a predatory smile playing on his lips. He keeps his boot pressed against me, a constant, humiliating reminder of my place. I have a campaign in the southern provinces that requires your particular talents. They speak of war and strategy, but the real battle is here, in this suffocating room. I am the battlefield, I am the prize, I am the spoils. After an eternity, the king dismisses him. We are done here. You may go, Your Majesty. If there is nothing else, I shall take my leave, Percival says, his gaze never once straying to me. The sound of his retreating footsteps is the sound of the final nail being hammered into my coffin. Once we are alone, the king hauls me up from the floor and onto his lap, his grip bruising. There now, he murmurs, his voice a low thrum of satisfaction against my ear. Wasn't that a splendid performance? He begins to unlace my gown, his eyes burning with a possessive fire that chills me to the bone. Please, Your Majesty, I whisper, the tears I held back for Percival now tracking silently down my cheeks. Have mercy. He mistakes my plea for a coquettish game, a part of the script he has written for me. Oh, I will, he purrs, his lips finding the sensitive skin of my neck. I will love you so fiercely you'll forget any other man ever existed. As he takes me there, on the throne of his kingdom, his endless whispers of I love you, Aurelia, are the cruelest torture of all. They are the chains that bind me, the poison that keeps me alive. I know they are lies, but as my body arches and finds its release, a terrifying thought flickers through the haze, a thought that has been growing in the darkness of my heart. What if one day, I start to believe him? Later, in the suffocating silence of my gilded cage, I stumble towards the balcony. My body aches, a dull throb that is a constant reminder of my servitude. My spirit is in tatters. A sliver of moonlight pierces the gloom, landing on the one thing in this room that is truly mine. The twin star shard amulet around my neck. It was my mother's, the last relic of my parents, a whisper of a life that now feels like a dream. They said it held a bond of souls, a connection that transcended even death. I clutch it, the cool metal a stark contrast to my fevered skin. A silent, desperate wish forms in my heart, a prayer to any god who might be listening, not for the king's love, not anymore, but for escape, any escape, a moment of peace, a single breath that is my own. And as the moonlight hits the polished surface of the amulet, a strange ethereal light begins to glow from within. The world dissolves, the ornate tapestries, the plush carpets, the very stones of the palace, they all twist and blur into a dizzying vortex of light and shadow. My chamber, the palace, the entire kingdom, it all vanishes. I land on something impossibly soft, a surface that yields to my weight like a cloud. The air smells clean, sterile, with a faint, masculine scent of sandalwood and something crisp, like fresh linen. Panic, cold and sharp, seizes me. I gasp, my lungs burning as if I've been holding my breath for an eternity. Where am I? The room is bathed in a soft, even glow, emanating from strange, glowing panels on the ceiling. There are no candles, no torches, no flickering shadows. My thin, water-stained silk gown clings to me, outlining every curve, a humiliating testament to the king's recent attentions. I feel utterly exposed, vulnerable in a way that is new and terrifying. Suddenly, a door I hadn't noticed opens, and a man walks in. He is half naked, a strangled gasp lodges in my throat, and I instinctively cross my arms over my chest, a flush of shame creeping up my neck. He is not the king. This man is lean, built not with the brute force of a warrior, but with the sleek, economical lines of a predator. Water drips from his dark, tousled hair, tracing a path down his lean, sculpted torso. My gaze, against my will, follows a single droplet as it rolls over a sharp collarbone across a plane of defined muscle, and disappears below the low-slung waistband of his strange, dark trousers. I have never seen a man like this. He is beautiful in a way that is utterly different from the king's brutal magnificence magnificence or Percival's noble grace. He looks real, flawed, human. His eyes, the color of a stormy sea, fix on me. For a moment, they widen in sheer, unadulterated shock, his gaze sweeping over my disheveled form, taking in the torn lace of my gown and the wild disarray of my hair. Then, his brow furrows, and his face hardens into a mask of cold, sharp displeasure. Who the hell are you? He demands, his voice a low, dangerous growl that vibrates in the silent room. And why are you in my bed? His tone is sharp, commanding, almost as imperious as the king's. A year ago, it would have sent me cowering, but I am no longer the timid girl I once was. 2 years in a viper's nest of a court has taught me to sheathe my fear in ice. I will not, I retort, my chin lifting in a defiance that surprises even myself. You will tell me where I am. I do not know where this place is, or how I got here, but my intuition screams that this man is the key, and as I watch him, my fear begins to recede, replaced by a strange, sharp curiosity. I notice something fascinating. Despite his cold, intimidating facade, the very tips of his ears are a delicate shade of pink. A smile, the first genuine one to grace my lips in what feels like a lifetime, plays on my lips. It feels foreign, like using a muscle I had forgotten existed. I rise from the bed, my wet gown doing little to conceal the curves of my body. I see his eyes flicker, his jaw tighten, for a fraction of a second, and I feel a sudden, heady rush of power. It is a new sensation, and I find I like it. I walk toward him, my bare feet silent on the plush, strange carpet. He is taller than the king, and his presence, though intimidating, lacks the suffocating menace I am so used to. He smells of soap and clean water, not of wine and cruel intentions. I circle him slowly, my eyes taking in every detail, committing this impossible moment to memory. Then I see it, around his neck, half hidden by the towel slung there, is a chain, and on that chain, impossible, it cannot be, it is an amulet, dark and lustrous, the twin to my own, a star shard, identical in every way. Who are you? He repeats, his voice tighter this time, betraying a hint of unease. Don't make me ask again. The familiar tone of command, so like the king's, sparks a rebellious fire in me. I am done being ordered. I am done being a plaything here. In this strange new world, perhaps I can be something else. I close the distance between us. Stopping so close I can feel the heat radiating from his skin. I tilt my head back, meeting his stormy